Testing, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Testing, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello, welcome. I just started streaming and then a train decided to come by. So, yay. It's still going by and it's still honking, but it's a little further away now. Welcome to the Ninja Robot Studio LLC stream, where I play video games and VR experiences and talk through them from a UX designer's perspective. Game development has a very heavy influence on XR development, so it makes sense that we would study game design to learn how to better create experiences for XR. And right now I go by genre, and right now I am working on the training genre. I'm doing follow-up research on that genre. So I played 6 games or training sims. They're not official training. I did finally find some official training thanks to a friend shared some with me. So I may be like adding on to this in the future, but I'm doing synthesis on what I've played so far. And so I will play each stream a game, and then I will do what's called a Rose Thorn Bud afterwards. And Rose Thorn Bud is where we go through and say what's working well, what's a highlight, what's not working, what's a low point, and what can we do about it. If this were a real project, what would we do about it? And if it were in XR, what would we need to think about? If it's already in XR, we ask, well, if it's in a different platform of XR, what if it's in mixed reality or augmented reality? Because I don't have either of those headsets, I can't play those games. I can only do VR right now. So if it were in one of those, what would we need to think about? And yeah, we follow the Pillars of Gaming UX by Celia Hodent. I highly recommend that book. Let me see if I have a bot command for that. Yes, I do. On Twitch, and I'll just copy that link over for everyone on YouTube. This is my first time giving a multi-stream a try for my stream, so we'll see how it goes. Looks like it's working. That's great. Welcome everyone who is watching this now or who will be watching this later. Feel free to add your comments. I do check the comments, so if you have input or your own insights into whatever it is I'm doing, I will gladly take your insights as well and implement that into what I'm working on. And so we went through 6 games. We did the Rose, Thorn, Bud method, and now we are synthesizing all of that. I took all of those and I put them into overarching things that work across all of those experiences. What are some individual things that an individual game did well that we like, that we might want to think about if we were creating our own training sim? And what are some overarching issues across all of them, and some individual game issues, like this is the thing that they didn't do well and we want to learn from that. We want to make sure we don't do that ourselves. And what would we do to make it better? And then overarching recommendations based on all of that. And so right now I'm doing follow-up on that because there are some things I need to validate. And that's where with follow-up, I'll go through and I'll replay the game looking for these things specifically. And so it's not a proper playthrough of the game at this point. It's just me checking, what are the tooltips doing right now? What are the animated, are they animated? Are they, because these are things that I'm following up on, is this column here. Follow up on these things, these games, yes or no, are they doing this? What's any detail about it? Or is it not applicable? Because it's not a multi-controller application, because it's only on the Oculus, which only has one controller, for example. So, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I did Car Mechanic Simulator follow-up last week. And this week I am doing Rover Mechanic Simulator. And as well as all of that, we are also looking at, so half of these games were on the desktop and half were in VR. But if we're also synthesizing everything that we've thought about for if this were in XR, what would we need to think about? And if it were in mixed reality, what would we need to think about? Or should it be? Should it be in mixed reality? Should it be in augmented reality? Is it something that only really makes sense in VR? Training can be any of them. So that's great. So then what do we need to think about? And then what best practices tie into that? This I'm just adding on to as I think about it. Because I need to go through this and see, okay, what other best practices need to link to this, talk through this. And that's... And the reason I do it in post-it format is because I can take this information and turn it into whatever. It can be a report, it can be a talk, it can be a course, because I do create courses. If you check out my link tree, and it is on my About page and in show notes usually. If you're watching this, let me see, let me just get the link tree link. And I will share it with you. There you go, YouTube. There you go, Twitch. And if you're watching this later, just check out the About section. or the show notes. And if you're on YouTube, check out the show notes. If you're on Twitch, check out the About section. Or the chat history. So we're playing Rover Mechanic Simulator now. And I need to go through and double check these things. So I need to check how the tooltips are behaving. When it's hovering over objects, is this an overarching thing? Are they animated? Are they connected to the object in the spot you interact with it? Like in context. See, now there is one controller tooltips relevant to different controllers. I need to see if it even supports different controllers. It may not. This does happen for some. So it's not consistent. Or at least I'm not seeing a pattern right now on it. And okay. So let's just get in there and play. Let me hide this. If you have tips on doing multi-monitor streaming so you can still see everything, that would be great, because then you could see side by side, but not something that I've figured out. So I have to hide my browser window. So that we can see the game. Now, tooltips show when hovering over the objects. Let's see if that happens. I'm going to start a new game. I've already saved one. Let's look at their options. Let's see controls. So it looks like you don't even have the option to do a different controller. I did try to use my controller earlier with it and it didn't respond. It does respond to the right joystick, because that's what's happening right now, is the joystick. But that's just emulating a mouse with the joystick. Okay. And you can, for accessibility reasons, you can adjust your audio. I think that was a relatively general thing, but not all apps were. I don't think you're able to do that in all the apps. General settings, language. This was one of the things I needed to follow up on. Is their internationalization. So they, because internationalization is important, language selection. The problem is that it took me quite a while to get to this point. Now, the question is there a default setting with Steam that will automatically detect what your language is and then automatically install the game in that language? Then maybe that's fine, because it did that for English. Maybe it's doing that in other countries. If you're from another country, I would love to know that. Does it automatically default you to your correct language? But another thing that is important to you, if it supports your default language. And then what happens if it doesn't? Does it go to English? What happens in that case? But as you can see in the drop down, even though this is in English, in the drop down, it has the other languages in their own language, in their native language, which is important to internationalization. It's using their language, their writing system. like in Car Mechanic Simulator last week, even though you could choose other languages, all of the languages were written in English, even when you change the language. So even if I change the language to Francais or Italiano, it would still have all the languages in English, Italian, French, German, Polish. Polski is, Chinese, and so forth. So you want it to be in their native language, and they do that here. I don't know. I need to check my recording to see if they did that at the time that I played it, because I had a note on here saying that it stayed in English, but maybe they updated it. I'm going to update that real quick on the notes. Update that. It is in the negative language that you have to dig through menu to find it. Okay, I'm just gonna read through these real quick to see what all I need to check. See if my memory can keep up, because there's a lot here. And what I'm doing is I'm just working live. This is actual work that I'm doing for my own stuff. I write best practices. I write UX best practices. I teach. So I'm working on creating a training course for like working on a design course, teaching you how to design training simulations. And this is research that I'm doing to help feed into that. Oh, and we already have some fun spam going on in YouTube. Yay. All right. Thanks for your spam. I'm sure it was a bot. That was one of the problems that I've seen with streaming on YouTube in the past, is all the bots really love it, and there's no good moderation options for YouTube right now. So YouTube, if you're watching this, really like some better moderation options for live streaming on YouTube. If there are, then let me know what they are, because I'm not aware of them. So, tooltips show when hovering over objects. Animated tooltips. Are they animated? Are they in context? Are they disabling menu items that aren't relevant in the tutorial, so that you're only focusing on what you're learning? Controller tooltips are relevant to different controllers. It doesn't look like they even let you use different controllers, so I'm gonna go ahead and write that. Only keyboard, mouse. Doesn't support other controllers. And tooltips go away after a certain point. I don't know if they remain persistent or not. It seems like less of an issue would want to validate that. Let me fix that. I would want to validate that with testing, because it seems to me like it's less of an issue, but I would definitely want to validate that with testing on the first steps. Whether or not I can do that's another question. I give the ability to reference full task list versus just the next step. Give an easy way of finding the next step if they're out of field of view. Better to use multiple senses than just one. Flashing arrow, like wayfinding. Did I mention anything about that? About task list on Car Mechanic as something that, or Rover Mechanic, that I liked? No, I didn't say anything about it. Let me see if I said anything about it here. Objective list easily accessible. Okay. Is that in here? I'm gonna, when I go to create whatever it is I'm gonna create from this, I'm gonna go through everything again. Because I always want to verify that I'm not missing anything. Right. Well, it's... Alright, let's see the detail then, because Car Mechanic Simulator has an issue with that. The objective list is easily accessible, but is it just the next step or is it the whole thing? So I want to see the whole thing if I'm learning training. Hi, how are you doing? Zilius, how's your day going? Does it give audio feedback? I'm just unsuccessfully trying to memorize all of the things that I have to verify in Rover Mechanic Simulator. I'm not going to remember all this. Okay. We're playing Rover Mechanic Simulator today. Double checking everything. School stuff. Okay, so I verified the language. Remember we were talking about this last week. I need something. Upgrade. Something. Remember we were talking about language last time. So this is what I was talking about. It's in their native language. That's what it needs to be. However, in this one, you have to dig through menus to get it. This game is free demo if you want to try it on Steam. All the ones that I've played, well, no, Wrench is not free unless they have a free demo. I don't remember if they have a free demo, but this one's free. I want to check it out. Okay. So I've restarted a new game so I can see what happens in the tutorial. So they've got their objective list to the side, up in the top right. And since I'm a fresh engineer, some of those steps, including this one, may contain multiple messages. Press D to view the next message. Oh, yeah, it does. So that's not completely clear. Look for the little diamonds. Those are our wayfinding, which I've already complained about. They've got visual feedback about what you can and can't interact with. Press space to continue. So objective list. I press 4. 5 did something. There's a controller there. What's that about? But I can't use a controller. Why do you have a controller icon? So you can access your log. And you can reference your controls. And it's got a tooltip. It had sound effects. No animation. There are a whole bunch of dots or diamonds everywhere. And comparing it to Car Mechanic Simulator, I like Car Mechanic Simulator, how they handle it better, but maybe I need to collect all these tools. Okay, so I'm just gonna see. So it's been a while since I played it. So it's giving me a tooltip whenever I hover over this thing. Been doing that. I'm just clicking. Ugh. It switched me back to a different view, which took away control of the camera. So when it suddenly stopped like that, yeah, I've already complained about the diamonds. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. So, can't see it. Yeah. And instead of checkbox, they have colored diamonds. So it'll turn green when I'm done with it in the subjective list. And if you're red-green colorblind, you're not going to see that. It's not, that's the only indication. I've already complained about that one. Yeah. But I'm glad someone else is catching it. Yeah. But anyway, the way that it's like suddenly, no, I'm not complaining that you're complaining. I'm glad you are. It took away the camera control from me, so I got disoriented for a second because it suddenly froze. You definitely don't want to do that in VR. Okay. So the tooltips are showing when I hover over stuff so far. And I could leave and go see a little more about the radio. Wait, where's the radio? Over here. Yeah, I had to mute the game music. And that was also something that was annoying, is there's an inconsistent interaction. Because it automatically pulls up some things, information on some things, and I didn't click it. But yeah, it changed to green over here, and that is the only indication that it's done. There's no change in font color, font boldness, nothing. So it should just be a checkbox that you like check off like you would in a checklist, but they're just using color, which is a no-no in UX and accessible design. Yeah. So let me see. Tooltips show when you hover over objects. Yes, they do. Question is, do they continue? And I kind of want to see. Can I go back to? I want to go back to that login. Because it's just I'm gonna have to like leave the game altogether. I don't want to leave the game altogether. I just want to go back to the login to choose my other game. So it's playing actual music, so I don't want to get pinged for copyright infringement, so I had to mute the game. Yeah. It's just changing it for me instead of letting me select something to look at. So it's not even letting me do the interaction. It's just when I get in proximity, it's popping up this thing and stopping the camera, which is annoying. Except, yeah, no, it did it then too. Okay. So no hovers there. But yeah, so now you can see the objective list is just changing color. That's it. That's your only indication. There's no sound, so there's no sound. I do have sounds on. But I'm not hearing sound unless turn that off. Now I can hear the sound. Yeah. Start a new quest. Okay. Where? Ow. So no, it's not showing tooltips everywhere because I forgot how to move between the two panels. So it's not a consistent thing. Okay, let me make that note. Yeah, it is a lot of reading. You wouldn't want to do all that reading in VR, at least not until the headsets get better. I am going back and forth on whether or not to get that MetaQuest Pro because I obviously, too much money. I can't afford it, but is it an investment? I don't know. I haven't convinced myself of that yet. Because I'm a designer and I'm professional and I teach the stuff, and so it would be like a business thing. It would be a business expense. Your thoughts would be welcome, because I was like, no, I can't afford the thing, and I kind of hate that there's this Quest 3 out on the horizon that I have no idea when it's coming out, and like I would be so mad if I bought the Pro and then like 2 months later the Quest 3 came out that was like a major fraction of the cost, because I'd rather just get that. But the question is about resolution, legibility. But then if I get a better, a higher end headset, I'm going to forget about that on the lower end headsets, possibly. But wisdom's welcome. What's the difference with the Pro? Besides the price? Better resolution. I don't care about the eye tracking or the face tracking. I'm going to turn that off. Well, I don't know about the eye tracking because I may turn it on and off to test, because there's this thing in VR where it has to emulate you, your eyes focusing on things. So you know how when you look at something, everything around it like blurs out, so that when you're focusing on one thing, it's one that's better for like professionals and for designers, supposedly. Supposedly, that's who they're marketing for. But I've been using standard consumer headsets this whole time. Fine. But it has higher processing power. And yeah, it's got the pass-through. It's got all those new, like, if you're wanting to be on the forefront of tech, you want the newer tech to test it and stuff. So yeah, it's a hard thing. Like, I keep going back and forth. I don't want to spend the money on it for sure. But is it an investment to do so? Because it has like extra stuff like the controllers. But apparently you can use those controllers with the Quest 2. So if you can use them with the Quest 2, apparently you can use them with the Quest 3. If you can use them with the Quest 2. Yeah. How does it compare to the specs of Quest 3? We don't know enough about the 3 yet. That's the thing. They're not going to have eye tracking or face tracking, but I don't care about that as much. The only reason I would care about eye tracking is for foveated rendering. Like I was saying earlier, when you look at something and you focus on it, it makes everything else blur out. But right now in VR, you have to guess that based on the center of the field of view. But if you're tracking their eyes, then you'll be able to more accurately do that foveated rendering, where it'll blur everything else that you're not looking at. So it helps with eye strain and things like that. And then the other question is whether or not, because I have a small face, and this is video that's going to be coming out soon. It's going to be coming out on the next month? I don't remember. Maybe this month. Wait, what month is it? Maybe this month. I've got it in early access right now. It's talking about interpupillary distance of your headset and how if it's not matching, it can cause major eye strain and even like eyesight issues like myopia. So, do you wear glasses? Because like when you wear glasses, you know how you have to like, they put that thing on to measure your eyes. Yeah, so you know how that thing where they measure your eyes, they do that to know where to focus the lens on your eye so that it's like the correct distance. And so, because if that's off by even a little bit, it'll cause eye strain. And the interpupillary distance on the Pro goes down low enough. But like most of the headsets don't go down low enough. And I don't know where the Quest 3 is going to fall on that, because the Quest 2 does not go down low enough. The original Quest does. The new Pico Neo 4 does not. So I wouldn't be able to wear the headset for very long. But the Quest Pro does go down low enough. Hi, welcome AXN. How are you doing? Welcome. I'm multi-streaming today, Mazilius. I'm multi-streaming on YouTube, and I got a person here. Hi, welcome AXN. We're talking about VR headsets, and I'm trying to decide whether or not to get the Pro because I don't want to pay the money for it. But it's got, yeah, it's an investment because I'm a professional. I do this for a living, all that. So I'm trying to decide. Yeah, I'm multi-streaming, but you can't see the chat on YouTube. But I'm not seeing the YouTube chat in Restream, which is annoying. Yeah, so I have YouTube open as well, so I'm looking back and forth between chats. Okay, so that was, it's not animated. So same as that, not animated. They do, but not in tutorial, but it goes away. Over time. So it's like introducing, but then it goes away. Enabling menu items that aren't relevant to the tutorial. Yeah. This one you can reference the task list, which is good. Give easy way of finding the next step out of the field of view. No, they don't do that. Gives visual and audio feedback. Not if they do, not loud enough. And there's no visual. I didn't see any visual. Did you see visual? The objective list. Updates. That's it. Visual feedback and sound effects are detailed and well designed, so I would say no. Nope. Very minimal. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. I hate the crooked lines. Shows you how to access reference information and manuals. Oh, it does have the tablet thing. Common actions available at all times. Disabling menu items that aren't relevant to the tutorial. No, it does not support multiple controllers. Nope. There's no true rhyme or reason to my color coding on this part. The only place I have like true rhyme or reason on color coding is on the rose thorn bud part. But this follow-up part, it's like I'm not consistent on my colors here on this part. If anyone wonders about that, because some people do. I'm not being consistent here. I'm starting to like change it because, you know, this is just something that I do organically. So I may go in and like change the thorn color on these just so I see so I'm starting to get a color code here. So now we're starting to have a color code. Might help you find things quick. Yeah. Tooltips for common actions visible at all times. So yeah, like referencing the objective list, the log, and the tablet. Yeah, those are there. No haptics. If their sound can't hear it, so that's like the same, basically the same thing as here. If they do have sound, it's not loud. And no visual except the objective of the that I noticed. If they did, I didn't notice. Hi, Sniper Echo. Welcome to the stream. It's hard to maintain one big project mainly for yourself. Yeah, when I'm mainly doing it for myself, it's like I'm less strict about it. But if I'm teaching other people what I do, then I should be more consistent with it. How are you doing, Super Echo? Do you design games? Are you interested in VR, game design, anything like that? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Tooltips update based on context and proximity. Let me move my thing again. Browser window. So I've got an order. So this is just talking me through the tablet. This is my inventories, the warehouse. Each part has a name, production price, etc. If by any chance you detach an unanalyzed part, you can still analyze it in the warehouse by deselecting the part and pressing F on your keyboard. And this is something that I thought was really cool, that you're dabbling in game dev, looking to move into VR and XR, well, welcome. I talk about UX for XR, the design side of it. Are you wanting to be developer or designer? It helps to know how both think, but yeah. There's all kinds of rabbit holes you can go down with it. You want more dev side? Because if you're thinking about that, there's some resources out there that you can check out. Circuit Stream does free workshops. They do free stuff every week, and they do, like, you want to check them out for development. It's like circuitstream.com. You want to check them out? I'll put it in. It is a school. They have free resources on their YouTube, or you can also look into their classes. But yeah, their classes are paid. I'm one of the instructors there, but I teach the design side of things. I don't teach the dev side. So this tree, I was talking about this when I played through it the first time. This is a kind of a profession path, and that's like really cool for a thought for training, right? So if you're creating a training system for your company or whatever, you can help people. Like even in XR, there are so many paths that you could go down for XR. It would be helpful to help people figure out what they need to learn to get where they need to go, right? And so if you want to become like an economist on Mars here, because we're on Mars here, then there's a certain path that you go down. What do you need to learn for that? If you want to be an analyst and do something different, there are certain things you need to learn to do that. And I think that that's cool that you can go down this path. And that's a cool thought about creating these paths to go down and follow for, like, do you want to be a developer? Do you want to do do you want to be a 3D modeler? Do you want to do UX design? So forth. So knowing what you need to learn for each of those would be awesome. So this is a really cool thought that I thought would be really cool for training programs, if you're creating a training sim. Thanks for following, appreciate it. And my alerts are not sounding. I did not hear that. I don't know why I did not hear that. But thank you for following. Appreciate it. And it doesn't give any alerts on YouTube, so if you did follow, if you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah. Oh, so it does show you down here. Did it show that before? Did I forget? Did I miss it? You're interested in learning a bit more about UX? Well, you're welcome to hang out. And if you check the About section, you'll see a bunch of links to learn more stuff too. On Twitch. So I think this only shows when the first time that you do it, right? That it's use A or D to switch between messages. So I don't remember that showing last time I looked at it. So the tooltips aren't persistent. Oh, yeah, or if you want to be a technician, that was hidden before. So you'll have to learn like 3D printing, you'll have to learn, yeah, so that's cool. That it teaches you those, like these are the things you need to gain skill in. But here's my quest, and it didn't tell me where to go to get it though. I had to remember, oh, I think I have to go to the tablet for that. First time I played. Yeah, I agree. It would improve your dev work. I think every dev would benefit from learning like foundational UX stuff. It would help, like best practices and even understanding the methods to understand how the designers get to the decisions they get to. Yeah, that would be very beneficial. I agree. So we have to hold this. Now I'm wondering if you can do this on your iPad. I doubt it. I doubt it's available on the iPad. Or like on touch interface. Okay, now you're going to tell me about the quest view. Okay. This is the central point of the game where we talk about tasks. But it hides it, so you can't even see it till you close the window. Yeah, I was fumbling through this, so the onboarding's not that great. The tooltips are not persistent. Wayfinding's not that great. Let me bring back up the mirror board. Okay, tooltips update based on context and proximity. Can't restart within the scene, have to leave and restart. Right, yeah, you have to leave. There's no way of bringing back tooltips once you complete it the first time. There is a reference. Lets you initiate the start yourself by pushing the lid for like that was on one. Did it let me initiate the start myself? Yes. Already did language selection, so I still need to get that answer. And disabling menu items when they aren't relevant. I need to verify that one. And some of this I may have to like go back and just scrub the video I already did. So you've previously done web dev, and UX and accessibility is very important there also. Yeah, I came from web. I'd done web, over 24 years of experience for web, mobile, desktop software, kiosks, multimedia CDs, and then around 5-ish. I need to count my years of XR. Yeah, so that's where I'm coming from. Design, not dev. Design. UX and design, not dev. I can't code worth anything. So disabling, I just really, I just know enough to communicate with the devs. But yeah. Nah, I'm older than that. I was, how old was I? I'm 47 now. I was 20 something. I was not yet 24. That's for sure. 21, 22. Something like that. Disabling minute. So I need 1, 2 more things. I may just have to scrub the video and find that out. Yeah, I'm 47. I've always looked younger than I am. Let me see if I can get that answer. I may have to restart and go into the other game that I've already played through the tutorial on. Yeah, I have, like, when I was a teenager, or like when I was in my 20s, I looked like a teenager. I looked like I was 12. And I would talk to adults like an adult, and they would get so offended that I would ever talk to them that way. It was really frustrating. And there is another train coming, so I apologize if it gets really loud. I think I have to restart the game, which is annoying. I just want to go back to that login and choose the other game. I have to exit the whole game. That's annoying. And restart it. And make sure OBS is picking it up. Okay. Sudo doesn't work on Mars. That is a Linux geek reference. I'm gonna try to verify these real quick. Then I'm gonna have to end the stream because I got other work to do. But yeah, I'm gonna try to verify these. It just takes a little while for the game to load. You were AFK, but on headset, you understand your baby face frustration. Yeah, it can get... New people knew me as Babyface before my real name. That's... I don't know if that's funny or not. I'm sorry, but I know the feeling, so I'm laughing in pain for you. Thanks for hanging out, Sniper Echo. You're welcome to hang out until I'm done. But yeah. I'm doing this one this time. Because I finished the tutorial on this one. Okay. So yeah, there are tooltips that show up. Because there's something I'm not doing, which is nice that they're showing me I missed a step. That I have to hook up the configurator that I have zero memory of how to do. because it's been months since I played it. I'll have to go back and figure that out. It's funny now. Yeah, I used to not think it was funny at all. That, and I'm short. So I got like multiple like digs because I'm under 5 feet. And yeah, so definitely people would think I'm a kid. Now I have some gray hair, so that helps. But yeah, I used to not think it was funny at all. Tooltips are showing like it's not available, which is nice. It's showing you what you can and can't interact with. Nothing is available right now because I'm in, I think this was one of the, yeah, so it's still showing tooltips. Showing me one of the things that was annoying about this game is you have to switch modes to do things. But now I don't remember how to do that. You have to switch to different mode. You have to switch to disassembly mode versus assembly mode versus analytics mode. It's like my brothers are short too. I'm the shortest. I'm the only one that didn't make it to 5 feet. Yeah, my brothers are short too, so but their personality makes up for it. So yeah. You have to switch to different modes to do things, so I'm not apparently in the mode, and I forgot what the little wrench up in the top of the thing means, because it's not correlating that icon with the disassembly versus assembly thing. So I don't, because it's been so long, I don't remember what mode I'm in. There's nothing in the log. I have to repair the Rover. Oh yeah, I don't know. But, so some things I'm not able to interact with, so there's a tooltip that's telling me I can interact with it, which is nice. Problem is I don't remember how to get out of the mode that I'm in so that I can interact with stuff. But I can hover over the different parts and see their condition, which is cool. Yeah, so let me see. I'm gonna have to rewatch this video. Or that original video. Tooltips update based on proximity, yes. That one I haven't been able to notice yet. I will have to rewatch that video and see my original stream to see if that is the case on this one. Let me... I'm gonna make a note to myself to check the video on that. And that is it for Rover Mechanic Simulator verification. That. Thanks for hanging out while I do that. Appreciate it. And anyone watching on YouTube, thanks as well. Yeah, I will see y'all next week when I do probably Wrench Desktop next time. So I'll see y'all. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. You too. Have a great week.